Hey, Podnutzians, welcome to Android App Addicts, episode number 558. This show is brought to you by Eric Matter, Patreon for over 3 years now. He started back in June, June of 2016. Thank you very much for all the support, Eric. And if you want to join Eric in part of the elite club of supporters for the show, you too can go to patreon.com/Android App Addicts and enjoy completely ad-free versions of this show. And this week we are again joined by Josh and Ivor. How is everything going, Ivor?
Hey guys, going really well, thanks. I was a little bit unwell last week, but I'm very glad to be here today. And we're having a very windy day today. So if you hear some noise, it's probably the wind in the background.
Gotcha. Yeah, we've had, I'll say, weather here. It's like it can't make up its mind here. We keep getting cool, warmer. As long as we don't have, 11 feet of snow, I'm fine. Speaking of snow, how is everything going up there, Josh?
Things are good, Door. We definitely had some snow. It lasted about 5 days, if that. It was about 8 inches overnight, and then the next day it was raining. So that's typical weather up here. But there are ways to keep warm, like having fires, starting fires. But I learned that it's probably not the best to have them starting on your stove top, which I did the other day. So that's not so ideal.
Yeah, I mean, if you like your house, um, understand. I we finally got new flatware. Every time I would make beef in a pan, whether it was burgers, steak, or anything, uh, it would always cause the friggin' smoke alarm to go off. And I kept thinking, well, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing that wrong. I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing that wrong. We got brand new pans for Christmas. Well, I did because, cooking. Tonight, cooking chicken. The other night, cooking steaks. Other day, cooking burgers. And not once has the damn smoke alarm went off. So that made me feel better. At least it wasn't all me.
Well, I just looked up the flash point of extra virgin olive oil, and it said it's 410 degrees.
Hmm.
So apparently my stovetop got the olive oil up to 410 degrees, and it just burst into flames. It's
Wow.
crazy. Not
Yeah,
ideal,
apparently
man.
the flash point of olive oil is a lot lower than a few other oils, like grape oil or canola oil. Canola oil is good for high temperature stuff.
I think
Yeah.
avocado oil actually has the highest,
Oh yeah,
well, the
there you
highest
go,
smoke
avocado.
point, I believe. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I will first just cut through and say no emails. So it isn't that we're not reading them right now. We literally have no email. So if you would like to send us an email in, do not hesitate, aaa@podnutz.com, or you can go to podnutz.com, click on the contact links, or you can call us up at 7076 Podnut and leave us a voicemail. I'm gonna drop an app really quick right off the bat kind of thing. It's been in the news. Everyone, I'm sure, has heard about it because it's been, I'll say, just talked about everywhere, and that is the coronavirus in China. I've been looking for more mortality rates, and no news I listen to. Tangent. Subscribe to over 150 podcasts. Of them, at least 30 of them are news-based podcasts. Not one of them has mentioned the mortality rate, and the mortality rate is the number of people diagnosed with it versus how many people recover versus how many people die. Okay, it's a very important figure when it comes to a disease like this, like influenza or cancer or AIDS or anything else. Um, this is the only app I've been able to find that actually gives up to date information. This information comes published from Johns Hopkins, and it gives you a breakdown by country, how many infections that they have that are confirmed, how many people have recovered, and how many people have died. This app is called Coronavirus Statistics. Super ugly art in the Play Store. I want to say it has like a greenish yellow artwork to it. And I'll just say, like, right now, as of Thursday evening, January 30th, right now in China, 8,124 people confirmed to be infected. Of that number, 135 people have officially recovered. 171 people have officially died. If you notice, that's not even close to 8,000 people. Okay. So we have a little bit of time to wait until we actually find out, how deadly this actually is going to be for the rest of the world. But if you take a look at these numbers, almost every single one of these numbers are in China. So I'll say as a world, we've done an okay job in containing this. And when new cases pop up in other countries, I think they're actually doing a good job in trying to corner people as quick as they can and get them help.
Yeah, I think it's amazing they've already come out with an Android app to show all the statistics about it. Is this updated on a regular basis from news feeds, or where do they get their information from?
Johns Hopkins is
Johns
the
Hopkins, oh, right.
arbiter of the information, and what they said on the Johns Hopkins blog is this stream will be updated anytime we get new information. So there's no
Okay.
set time frame on when it's going to be updated and no limit on the updates. And I'll say the artwork is a biohazard symbol, which everyone should recognize from like heavy metal bands from the 90s. And again, in the App Store, it's called official coronavirus, all one word, statistics by Santiago Soft Medical. 29 reviews. E for Everyone's does have ads, does have in-app purchases, completely free to download. 4.7 reviews. Updated January 30th, 2020. 4.2 megs in size, 1,000 plus installs. Current version 1.3.1. You need Android 4.1 and up. Permissions are basically nothing except for network access. I'll just say this is the kind of app where we have never brought an app on the show that I later hear about being compromised and doing bad things to systems. This is the kind of app where honestly it could end up being one of those apps, but right now I have it installed on my phone, and I'm going to have it installed on my phone until it seems like this is either well understood or all like warning signs are down kind of thing for it. So I'm going to keep myself informed for the time being, and I'm happy to say the US only has 6 confirmed cases. There was a threat on a Baltimore airline where they stopped a flight from taking off. Somebody said they were not feeling well and they thought it was a coronavirus. Turned out, no, they were just like normal sick.
I'm pretty sure that around Cinco de Mayo, there will be a lot more coronaviruses.
Yeah, and like supposedly they're seeing a lot of SEO, like a lot of people are you're looking for coronavirus but finding beer websites. Which you'll have that.
You will have that. That's an SEO dream.
Yeah, and for some reason, like the first picture in the Play Store looks pretty professional, kind of updated. The second picture, another one, pretty professional. Third one, again, pretty professional. And then for some reason, the fourth one, it looks like a lady, I don't know, wearing like lingerie, sitting down looking at coronavirus statistics.
Yeah, what is that all about?
I don't know.
Huh.
Not quite sure.
That is an interesting stock photo.
Yeah, and that's when I stopped asking questions and thought, hopefully this is not a application that's going to spread malware of any type. So if you, listener, have a app that you suggest we use to track the coronavirus instead of this, don't hesitate. Shoot us an email, aaa@podnutz.com. Now, and to me, because this is almost newsworthy, timely kind of app, but I'll say now, putting the brakes on, is there any kind of news, rumors, or hardware kind of things that you guys would like to talk about?
I've got just an article that's a bit interesting. I don't know how accurate it is, but that's right up my alley. So it's just the most downloaded apps, or the apps with the most downloads worldwide for 2019, and that includes iPhone, iPad, and from the Google Play Store.
Okay.
So First is WhatsApp, TikTok, Messenger, Facebook, Instagram, Likey, Share It, YouTube, Snapchat, Netflix. And then this one, the UC browser. The little icon looks familiar, but I don't remember anything about it.
Stay well away from the UC browser. It's a information gatherer for the Chinese government.
Oh, like my phone.
Well, yes.
And then it goes on to Spotify, YouTube Music, PixArt, Uber, Wish, Amazon, Hilo, Hotstar, and Twitter. So I think
Is
that
this the App Annie list? Come from App
no,
Annie?
it's visualcapitalist.com.
Visual Capitalist.
So they might have stole it from App Annie. I'm not
probably
sure.
come from App Annie.
Yeah, and they
App Annie
have
came out with a list a while ago.
right, and they have the numbers combined. So all of the downloads for WhatsApp combined, Google Play and App Store are in like one graph, which I will say also should give people a good representation of looking at this, just how not popular iPhones actually are in comparison, because it's literally like 1/10 of the installs, except when you look at like YouTube app where it's like close to half.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
well, isn't it? Sorry, you
WhatsApp
go,
is just over 100 million. It looks like 100 million iPhone, iPad, and then downloads, and then in the Play Store it's 750 million. So yeah, it's just blowing it away.
Yeah, and I'll say like a adjacent news article, and I'll say it's getting very much mixed information. Is some reports are saying that Samsung has now surpassed Apple in phone sales. Some reports are saying no, they're getting ready to approach that number. I will just say it like this: when you have one company in like competing against Apple that is literally selling as much or more than Apple, that just should like show people how little Apple devices are actually sold around the world. Now, in the first world, you will see Apple devices, when you're out and about. But you leave the sanctity of the first world and the actual numbers of iPhones plummets ridiculously. And I'll say there's also a thing in the EU where the EU is trying to tell Apple that they need to get rid of the Lightning port. Um, I don't think they understand just how small of a number of iPhones are actually sold in the EU. Not very many at all. I want to say it was literally for every one Apple phone sold in the whole EU, it's like 140 other smartphones are being sold. So I don't think Apple really, I don't want to say cares about the EU sales numbers, but they care about, the big countries.
Yeah, well, isn't it that the iPhone owners contribute most in terms of money, but the most downloaded apps, the most popular apps are the Android ones. So it sounds like the Android users are actually making the most out of their devices rather than the iPhone users who just have it really as a status symbol.
And
Yeah.
one thing that stood out to me about that list is that there aren't really any apps that are a surprise on there.
Well, there's a couple I don't think I ever heard of, but that's not a surprise. That's just apps I never heard of. Kind of thing. And I'll say this, which just tells me that we are doing the right thing here on this show. We should not be bringing WhatsApp, TikTok, Messenger, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat to this show because everyone already knows about those applications. We should be trying to surface other apps that we think could be in this list, kind of thing. So I think, I still think we're doing the right thing here.
Except for Josh's apps.
Yes, I thought we were bringing just the crappiest apps we could find.
Yeah, he didn't get the memo.
Hey, I'm good at what I do.
and consistent.
He's nothing if not consistent.
There's another article that I got from Android Authority, which is called The Rise and Fall of Android's Biggest Competitors Over the Last Decade. So it's a kind of interesting. It reminds you of things like Firefox OS and Tizen. So
yeah, what do you think is the main reason for the failure of those alternative systems? Symbian came out. HP had its own tablet line for a while there, but they all seem to sort of vanish when Android kicked off past Lollipop. So, what do you reckon? What happened? What happened with those alternative systems? Was it just that they didn't have enough devices, or they didn't have the app eco structure? I'd never really quite looked into it. I'm sure Dor has an opinion.
I'll say it just comes down to one word: YouTube. YouTube pushes more content. YouTube pushes more users. YouTube pushes more people to use anything than any other thing in the world. Like if Facebook was smarter and better at what they did, the Facebook phone could have been really successful and could have drove a lot of people to use their device. With Apple, it's all about just prestige, bourgeois, look at me, celebrity type people. With Android,
Wankers, we call them down here.
yeah. And when Android became the utilitarian system, and the honest goodness truth is, with every single version that comes out, Apple slowly integrates more things to be more like Android. Android keeps doing things to be more like Apple. They keep coming by one another, but I do think Android's open ecosystem was what pushed them over the edge in the beginning, because anybody could just sign up and say, I want to develop for this platform and put it out there. And as a phone manufacturer, you could just use somebody else's work. You didn't have to develop nothing and it would take off. Things like the Firefox phone. Well, I have one sitting right here. Great in theory. In reality, didn't really work very good.
What was that phone you were holding up before?
Yeah, it's the actual first Firefox phone put out by ZTE with a nice little 3.5-inch screen. It is so tiny. But it still works.
It was running Firefox OS.
Yeah. Firefox OS, which is basically just a Linux kernel and a glorified browser sitting on it.
So that's kind of an old iteration of the Pine phone, really, isn't it?
Less. I'll say less, partially because they had so much less hardware to use. You know what I mean? Back then, to get a gig on a phone was still kind of new. Other companies had a chance to be successful. I just think that they were too slow in innovating. Like Nokia had a really good chance to do something. Tizen had an opportunity to do something, and nobody picked up the pace. Google was making so much money off of ads, they could literally just throw money at that first couple builds of Android to make it good.
Yeah, right. But they all seem to have found niche uses, like WebOS has ended up on TVs. You've got, it's been quite popular there with a lot of smart TVs. Tizen's ended up on Samsung watches because Wear OS is such a disaster. So they haven't completely died. They've just found their own little niche markets and made quite a nice living there.
Yeah, and I'll say kind of like floppy drives, nothing actually dies. It's just relegated is the word that I would use to be not as popular. And the thing is, even if something comes out next year to be a fantastic competitor to Android, it's going to take like 18 years to get rid of Android everywhere because it's now too deep. I will say I do think that we're going to start to see other people put things up that are able to run Android APKs so they can piggyback off of the library of apps. I think that's going to help them try to compete, but it's still going to be, I think, really hard.
Yeah, I think it'll be a while before we see a third system come out to seriously challenge iOS and Android.
To be honest, the only time I think something's going to really compete is when one of those start to give up. When either Apple says, well, it's time we focus on this, or when Android just becomes old and Google stops updating it, and then, it will just like fall to pieces.
Well, I think, yes, Android's probably still trying to get Linux to take over the kernel or put Android back in the kernel so they can maintain it.
Yeah. And I'll say, here's like another link I have. Speaking of companies finally doing stuff, I honestly cannot tell you how long that MIUI type of operating system has been out. It's been at least, I want to say, 9 years. But MIUI 11 is coming out, and it's finally going to have an actual native app drawer built into it. That took way too long, is what I'm going to say. Way too long for them to do.
Agreed. Using the phone, and also since my phone received the 10 update, every once in a while the top notification bar just goes away, or when you load it takes, or when you turn on the phone or come out of phone sleep, it's just missing.
And then does it like randomly come back?
Usually, yeah, it just, who knows how long, but then it'll come back with the notifications.
Well, I guess as long as it comes back, right?
I guess so.
Weird. That's very weird. Shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, sometimes I have the what is it? The business 2 calendar that you talked about a while ago, Dor. I put that on here, and sometimes that the widget just stays black for a while too and takes quite a while to load. I might just get an iPhone.
You think it's because it's too cold up there in Canada? You're leaving it outside all the time.
Well, I don't live in an igloo.
Really? I thought all you guys did. Or a beaver hut.
We'll leave that one alone. Do you have any apps, Ivor?
I do. I saw the name of this one and I couldn't resist it. This app's called Knobby. And remember as a kid, you used to sit there playing with your dad's hi-fi system. The look on your face was precious. Sitting there in the lounge playing with your dad's hi-fi system, and they had all these knobby, like silver round knobs that you could turn, and you could pretend you're in a spaceship or something, well, you can actually use this app to provide a similar look and feel on the screen of your Android phone, which I think is fantastic. So basically what it is, it will provide a slide out, like you've got an option, like a hot touch area on the side of the screen to slide out your volume control, and you can turn it just as you would normally, like a normal volume controller. It controls all the different types of sound systems you can have. So it controls in-call volume, it controls media volume, it controls all the different types of volumes, and it's got quite a neat little widget. You put a widget on there, and you can just press the type of volume you want to control, and it also has lots and lots of different types of knobs. So you can change the from electronic knobs to steel knobs to graphical knobs, whatever you like. So I thought it was actually a very well done app that is called Knobby. So it's right up my alley, and that's why I liked it. Rob was saying, can this overcrank the volume? It goes all the way up to 15. So I don't think I haven't actually got down into the system specifications yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if you could actually increase it so that it will produce sound louder than the stock volume controller. I wouldn't be surprised if there was that functionality there. I have not yet found it because I haven't had it installed for that long, but I'll have a look and see if you can do it.
And
Gotcha,
this app is $1.89 in the Canadian Play Store.
All right.
Yeah, here in United States, 149, and it's called Knobby Volume Control Dash Unique Volume Widget App by
But all you need to know,
Yogesh
it's called
Dama.
Knobby.
Yeah, it definitely looks good, I'll say.
Oh, you can, yeah, I have a lot of fun with it. It takes you back to the old days of the old hi-fi. We don't have that anymore, do we?
Yeah, I mean, you could. I'm going to bring this app game kind of thing because we got, the Superb Owl coming any day now. This show will be released right after the Super Bowl happens. And if you're still hanging around with people, there's this app you can download called Pico Party Chromecast edition by Retroid Interactive under Board Games Creativity. 17 reviews, E for everyone, family friendly. $4.99 to buy, no in-app purchases, no in-app ads. 4.5 reviews. Again, eligible for the family library, updated May 4th, 2018, because you don't need to update it. 40 megs in size, 100 plus installs, current version 1.1, requires 5.0 Android and up, content rating E for everyone. Permissions, it is going to need access to stuff like photos, media, storage, camera, Wi-Fi. Essentially what this is, it's the old game like Pictionary, where you can connect this to a Chromecast and you can use the phone as like a drawing tablet, and what gets drawn gets displayed on the TV. So you can basically have like a board game, and it even has built-in things like round time, pass, penalty, colors available, and like a dictionary option where you can have custom dictionaries, or you can just go with the in-game dictionary. So it's like multiplayer where it tells you what to draw on your screen on the phone, but just displays the end result up on the TV.
This is fantastic. This is exactly what my kids need, because they've all got phones that sit there and they do silly stuff on their phones together, but they don't actually do anything together. They can sit around the big screen and actually Chromecast it onto that big screen and then play this kind of game. It's yeah, it's really good. I'll definitely be giving this to the kids and letting them have a go at it.
Yeah, it looks fun. It's $5.99 in the Play Store up north here. Find it very interesting that it was last updated May 4th, 2018, and there's only been 100 plus installs, because it does look like a pretty fun game. Unfortunately, I cannot find my Chromecast, so I won't be playing this.
Isn't it plugged into the computer as the TV?
It was. I'm wondering if I took it on a trip or something to a hotel and then left it there.
Mm. It's $6.99 here in New Zealand.
That's because we're better.
Well, and I'll say, if
have
it
to
is
move
the
to
kind of thing that you think is a bit expensive, you can put it on your wish list. Then when it comes on sale, you'll be notified. Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah, great.
So what do you got next there?
I've got an app called Tiny Bubbles.
Oh, I was going to bring this one. I was playing this yesterday. It's fantastic.
No,
It's really
were
good.
you really?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I actually was
Well,
playing it this morning.
too bad.
Yeah,
I'm
when I woke up,
quicker.
I was playing it. Yeah, it's very
And
good. The graphics are amazing.
yeah, it's really nice. Very pretty game.
Yeah.
So it's Tiny Bubbles by Pine Street Codeworks, and it's a puzzle and brain games. Averages 4.8 out of 27,304 reviews, 500,000 plus installs. Android 4.2 and up, and it was updated, well, today actually, January 30th, 2020, version 1.8.4, and very minimal requirements for permissions. And basically it is just a puzzle game where you have different colors, and then you try to combine the colors like Candy Crush, but then the bubbles will pop, and then there's another fish which is creating new empty bubbles or colored bubbles, and you basically just have to figure out your way to solve the puzzles. Sometimes it's blow up all the bubbles, sometimes it's free a starfish in one of the bubbles, and Ivor might be able to describe it better because I'm terrible at this.
Well, you did a great job. Basically, yeah, it's whole thing is based on bubbles, and you have to inject color into the bubbles to solve a puzzle. Yeah, and as Josh said, it's one thing I like about it. Of course, I got stuck on the third puzzle. Couldn't figure it out, but I didn't mind because the graphics around it was so amazing. It was like really well done. This is the first sort of game I've seen like this on Android, and I hope there are a lot more like it because they've actually done the visuals very well, and obviously they like the puzzles too. So it's great.
And it'll sort of like Tetris or something. It has the next 5 or 6 colors at the top that would be coming out and that you can use. And so you also have to eventually start combining colors, blue and red to make purple, in order to actually solve the puzzles.
Oh wow, that sounds great. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I'll say one good thing. Whenever I hear about these kind of games, is it just like the old bubble shooter from Linux that we've had for 20 years, which there's a lot of clones of that. This is nothing like that. Then I hear bubble games, and then I think like, the match 3 kind of way with the
Yeah, it is
bejeweled.
kind of like that. Yeah, that's about the closest you can come to it for this.
Right. Well, and this does have a color blind mode, which I will say that to me just shows that they're actually a mature person doing this development kind of thing, which is really good. The other thing that I'll say is kind of shocking. It says literally 172 unique levels or puzzles with a infinity mode. So I'm pretty sure even if you download this, you're going to have lots of time to try to do all of these puzzles. And yeah, I can't say it enough. Ivor hit the nail on the head. Gorgeous. This is the kind of beautiful game because the puzzle isn't just colors but the background is its own atmosphere kind of stuff to it. And it's super difficult to explain except for it's like literally a liquid puzzle where while you solve it, you're changing the board itself.
Yep.
One thing you
Yeah,
didn't
no,
mention, Dor,
really
is Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobble. Do I know that one?
You should. It's a old Nintendo game.
Oh,
Bubble
gotcha.
Bobble.
I'm sitting here thinking Android.
No, come on now. I don't bring Android.
Well, I'm slow. Let me think. This one, I'll say this one came in from a listener. I'm 99.99% sure. I'm also 99.9999% sure. Can't remember where it come from. So I'm going to say it probably came from Chuck because Chuck always sends us good apps. This one is called TempMail. Now it comes with I don't want to say a disclaimer because that sounds negative. It comes with a time sensitive thing. Okay. A lot of these TempMail applications seem to work just fine until they gain some popularity. And then once they gain popularity, services will stop accepting the email addresses that whatever app generates. This one has been around a while and apparently still works. So they keep changing stuff. It's called TempMail free instant temporary email access by Privatix, Privatix Limited, communication apps, for everyone, 52,000 reviews, does contain ads, does have in-app purchases, completely free to download, 4.7 average reviews, updated January 30th, 2020, size 7.8 megs, 1 million plus installs, current version 1.67, 4.1 Android and up. Again, content rating for everyone. In-app purchases. I'm not sure what the in-app purchases open up. I'll be honest with that. Permissions. It basically just needs storage, Wi-Fi, phone, photo, media, device ID. It needs a lot of access, is what I'm going to say. But this came suggested to us, so I'm going to say there's a lot of temporary email services out there that come and go all the time. This one has seemed to stick around.
If you would have waited 3 episodes, then it would have been exactly 100 episodes since it was brought before.
Really?
Yeah, episode 460.
Damn. So it's been a couple years. Oh,
Yeah.
well, it's still
But
holding
this
up.
is one of those apps that's good to bring up, though. These are good.
Yeah, some apps definitely need to be brought back occasionally.
Like BB Tan.
Oh,
Oh yeah, didn't we get a an email from a Canadian person?
Oh. Yes, we did. Do you want to read it?
Oh no. Maybe next time.
Okay.
I have an app that is a game, and it is called The Angry Banana. And you know the visuals on the fish bubble game were fantastic, but the visuals on this are just terrible. This is a platformer game where you play a banana who's suddenly come to life and realized that his brothers and sisters in the banana world have been subjugated and enslaved for our eating pleasure, and so he gets very angry about this and tries to wreak his revenge. And so the idea is that you play this angry banana that goes around shooting banana skins at plastic bottles and all sorts of other nasty creatures and jumping and you know, jumping around on a platform. I thought it was good because it's called the Angry Banana, and it actually gave me about 15 minutes worth of pleasure playing it. So try it out. I recommend it.
Did you purchase it then?
No, I think it was actually on sale. I think I got it for free, but it might be. Is it
$2, $2.69.
Ooh, no, that's far too much money. Wait till it comes around on sale again.
well, I'll say they
Rob's
definitely
saying it looked like something from Futurama.
Yeah, they definitely spent money on the promo video.
They didn't spend a lot of money on anything else, though. No, it's a good, honest app.
Gotcha. Well, one thing I just got to bring up because we did mention BB Tan. I will say during our review show of the year, one of the things that we did was we kind of said how Eric was making like far out ridiculous predictions where I was making really safe predictions. Well, he was actually right with one of his predictions, and this came out literally January 12th. So he was 12 days off. He was talking about exoskeleton suits being used. And there's an article on CNN. A paralyzed man breaks the world record for finishing a marathon in a exoskeleton suit. And I actually heard an audio interview with this guy too. So he's literally paralyzed, can't move legs at all. He had an exoskeleton suit where basically by moving his hips caused the legs to move. He literally ran a marathon being paralyzed. Now, the total race took him 33 hours and 50 minutes, but he ran a frigging marathon. So I got to say, tip of the hat to Eric. He made a outlandish prediction that actually came at least partially true.
Yeah, he
Wow.
should put money on that. Yeah.
That's crazy. And the sad part is that he probably would have beat me if I was racing.
So it would take you 33 hours to do a marathon.
Well, that's 33 hours is a lot shorter than infinity.
Yeah. And there's something else I want to bring. Partially, I want to bring because I want to see Josh's face when this gets explained, because he is at least kind of familiar with Linux. Okay. Canonical, the people behind Ubuntu, are introducing a scalable Android-based cloud platform. Okay, which is a lot of buzzwords, but if you just go to anbox-cloud.io, it has like their tagline right there by the top, and it says Anbox Cloud is a mobile cloud computing platform that leverages Android as an engine for virtualizing mobile workloads. Anbox Cloud is highly scalable and offloads compute, storage, and energy intensive applications from device to any cloud. And I got to stop talking because none of that makes a whole hell of a lot of sense to me. Like, what the hell do they mean virtualizing mobile workloads?
It sounds like a web app door.
It sounds like something where, okay, hypothetically, I have an Android device, I have an hour-long video, and I want to take it and convert it to another format. It sounds like I'll be able to click a button and seamlessly one of these canonical virtualized Android operating systems will do all the work on their side while my phone processor remains free and open. I don't know.
Well, that sounds like what I can never remember anything, but what you're talking about on Linux for the rest of us, where like your share computing,
Right. Edge.
edge computing. There you go. Kind of sounds like that.
Well, and that's the thing. They don't mention Edge, at least when I looked at it. I didn't see anything really trying to say that. Now, and I'll say it like this. I did say it on Linux for the rest of us, and that is history has taught us this. If you don't get mocked, if you don't get ridiculed, you're not trying hard enough. Well, that doesn't mean you're going to be successful when you get mocked and ridiculed, but at least you're trying. And this is the kind of thing where at least I can say Canonical as a company is at least trying different things. Don't know if they're going to be successful, but at least they're doing something, I'll say, completely different than anybody else. Maybe they have some unique vision that, other people just can't see.
Well, when I said that it sounded like a web app, but what I meant was a progressive web app. I mean, it's almost like you're throwing your Android apps just in the cloud somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy to see other people trying to do things around Android, but I would love to, like, instead of hearing buzzwords, just hear like an elevator pitch. Give me like the 30-second pitch of what this is meant to do. How is it going to help me? I don't know. I just thought I had to bring that up.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. I'm not a huge Canonical fan, but good on them.
You know, they are what they are. So, any more apps there?
Yeah.
I've got one more.
Oh,
Oh, no, you go, Josh.
Banana Man can go. Oh, okay, I'll go. This is called Cell to Singularity, and it's sort of a, I don't know, an away from keyboard idle game in a way, but you start off and as a tapper as well, but you start off as a primordial soup and then start establishing amino acids and DNA, and then you evolve up through fish and up to humans and things like that, and then there's another stage which you get to eventually, and you are creating dinosaurs. So it's quite interesting, and it's quite fun with the just what you learn, or what I learned. There's little blurbs every time you get something new, and it'll give you a little piece of history or science. And so the app is by Computer Lunch, and it's a simulation, and it has 5 million plus installs, and it was updated today again, January 30th, 2020. And the current version varies by device, and it requires Android, which varies by device. So yeah, I don't know. I find these games oddly addictive, and then I just have to delete them off of my phone, uninstall them.
Gotcha. Well, I'll just say one thing that I firmly believe. Well, you said the word science, so you kind of triggered me. I forgot about this app. I'm going to start by saying the truth can always be questioned and should be questioned because it can have answers. Like, is the world flat? No, it's not, and we can prove it. Science is something that I'm really, I'll say, infatuated with. It's the act of science because in fact there is no proof or facts with science. It's just artifacts. What can we tell right now? And the whole job of science is to prove things wrong, prove what cannot happen. Thus, we're left with what can happen. And it's always evolving, it's always changing. There is no church of science because science is always changing, and it's meant to change, and it's meant to be debunked, and it's meant to be proven wrong, and it's meant to grow and meant to change. Okay. Tantrum over. Okay. There's a website called in the Science We Trust, and it's basically web comics or comic books talking about science and scientists. Um, So it's basically doing like kid friendly type of ways to learn basic things about science. And I'll also say, facts have never won an argument since the beginning of time. Facts have never won anybody over to any side in any type of conversation. Narratives always win. Stories are what wins. Stories are what people care about. So, and what they're trying to do is basically do like small stories about scientists and science things that happened. So I'm a fan of this, is what I'm going to say. In case you couldn't tell yet.
Have you gotten the app for this? At the bottom of In Science We Trust, it wants you to input your phone number, and then it says it'll send you the app.
Yeah, didn't do that yet. I've just been accessing it via the web. Is what I'm going to say.
Okay, well, as soon as you do that, let me know.
Well, as soon as I do that, I'll have the APK and then I can give it to you. And I'll say, like the Tesla thing, like one of the things that kind of they didn't focus on is the fact that like near his death he was really like insistent that he needed to marry this pigeon because he was in love with the pigeon. Because science, there's a fine line between genius and not genius.
Absolutely
And
stark raving bonkers.
and like some people go back and forth. They like, go over that line.
Well, from science to sport. So this app, let's put it in the link in the show notes now. This is an app that I use a lot to catch up on some English football games that were played the previous night or were played the previous day. So basically, what this has is football matches from basically the Champions League, the Premiership in the UK, basically all the European football leagues, as well as the Italian. Oh, sorry, that is European, and South American. But I'm basically I only just use the Premier League, English Premier League, because I follow a certain football team, but I never get to see the games live. And what this does is it shows you the highlights of the game, like all the goals and things like. Or you can have extended highlights about a few hours after the game is finished, or when you want to be able to watch the highlights of the game, but not the whole game itself. So you haven't got time to watch the whole game, but you want to watch the main points. So I found this very useful. I don't know how long it's going to stay on the App Store because I'm pretty sure it's not legal, and all this is copyrighted stuff. But as long as it's there, you may as well use it, right? And yeah, so if you have a football team that you follow, otherwise known as a soccer team, you can use this app just to catch up on the highlights and what's going on in the particular league that you're after. It's very good. Had a lot of fun with it.
So could your favorite team possibly be Tottenham Hotspotter? Or
not at all. No.
I tried.
The Tottenham Hotspotter. I like it.
The name is really close to that. Tottenham Hotspotter.
Hotspur. Yeah. No, I follow a team called Crystal Palace.
Let's give it the
Palace fan.
Let's give it the Tottenham Hotspur.
Because I could have been cheesy and said Edgewood the Arsenal because they're one of the big ones.
Eric is just asking if they do other sports too, or just soccer. No, they just do football, Eric. Just football. Nothing else. Football. Okay.
Speaking of football, the Super Bowl's this weekend.
Yeah, or as a bad Adam Sandler movie called it, Foolsball.
Foolsball. Yeah.
A bad Adam Sandler movie. That's a bit redundant, Dor.
I'm very sorry. It's kind of like saying ATM machine or PIN number. Sorry. I'm very sorry. I apologize greatly.
Well, to be fair, there's Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. That era of films, there's a few that were pretty funny.
They were okay.
But Eric in the chat is saying there's no such thing as a bad Adam Sandler movie. As a moderator, am I allowed to kick people out of the chat, Dor?
I'm going to say yeah.
All right. So later, Eric. Thanks for coming out.
Well, Rob's got a point. Can you name a good one?
I don't know.
I did. Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, full stop.
I have not watched either of those.
Oh, really? Yeah, those are the
I watched
ones.
The one where his girlfriend would forget every night. Wasn't that like 50 First Dates? Was that him?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was decent, I guess.
And the Wedding Singer.
Oh, Zohan. Did he
Wedding
do
Singer.
Zohan?
Sorry, Wedding Singer. Good movie. Yeah.
I'm going to bring an app just to light a fire. Sorry, Australia. This one is called Treetracker, and I really like the idea of it.
Well, do your trees move up in Canada?
Some of them do
Oh, okay.
when you put a chainsaw to it. This is a very interesting concept for an app. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. And so that's about all I've got to say. Well, that's
Well,
not
it did
true.
work okay on my phone. I'm running an Android 7 phone, so it seemed to work okay on that one. But I didn't really get past the registration screen because I didn't really want to register for it. But it seemed to work okay up to that point.
And Dor, you said that it worked, but it was very slow and a bit buggy on Android 8 as well.
I don't know what the hell the app was trying to do, is what I'll say. But as soon as the app started up, if the first thing you show me is a login screen as an app, you're doing it wrong. Go take onboarding classes 101 and you'll learn you do not do that. Okay. Every drug dealer knows the first time is free and then they get you. So you first introduce the app, then you show stats from the app, then you let them interact with the app. Then if you want to put your own information in the app, you register. Okay. They're doing it wrong.
Well,
So
to be fair, I think that the app is more of a supplemental app to. I just put a link in the chat to a website called greenstand.org, and their tagline is addressing poverty and climate change and open source technology to power economical ecology. And so what they're doing, from what I
that
could
sounded like
tell,
the canonical buzzword thing.
I know, yeah, and it's all local, and it's open
Well,
source, and it's artisan, single batch, small batch. No, but so what they do is they're planting trees around the world. And so I think, you can pay a certain amount of money to have trees planted. And then the tree tracker app, from what I can understand, is a way to track the trees that you've had planted. And so the reason that this came up, I was in a meeting and someone had mentioned that they knew the developer of this app, and I was in a different meeting for a different group, and they're looking for kind of a help the world and have a promotional type of a situation. Buy this and we'll plant this many trees. And so that's kind of what got me onto this. So I think in concept it could be fantastic, and I reached out to the developer, so hopefully he'll get back to me. But I think it's a pretty interesting concept.
it is, but there's no reason why they can't show you local trees first, show you a map, show you the local trees, show you other people that are participating in this, then prompting you for the login. As soon as I launched the app, I immediately just clicked deny, 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 because I'm denying everything at first. You have to give me a reason to say yes to stuff. And then when I tried to back out of the app, my phone literally hung for 2 minutes, and I let it just sit there for 2 minutes, and it just hung, and whatever the app was trying to do, it did not wanna stop doing whatever the hell it was doing. Um, so let's just say, like, it's not, like, error trapping, right, when it didn't get access to my GPS or my contacts or my location or anything, it should stop asking for that kind of thing. Instead, I believe the app just ridiculously just went at it and kept asking for accesses. And then when I went to uninstall the app, my phone literally would not respond to anything while it was just starting the uninstall process for about a minute and a half. And, to the new listener, I literally sometimes install and uninstall 20 apps a week to my phone. This was not a normal install, uninstall, as far as I'm concerned. This was definitely different.
No, when I had nothing, I didn't have to go through any permissions, or it would not. Basically, I got to the screen and it just hung. I couldn't even bring up a keyboard or anything to type in any sort of login information. So yeah, it was
Well,
busted.
maybe what this guy needs, is just more help testing. Maybe he needs people with different devices to be able to, load it and say, well, this is what's happening on mine. This is what's happening on mine. Because the Android emulators don't do a great job of emulating what actual end users see, is what I keep hearing.
And I'm definitely willing to do that. And this other person that I know is reaching out to the developer as well after I sent the email. And so yeah, hopefully I'll be able to report back with better news on this whole ecosystem infrastructure.
I don't know. I'll just say one thing that doesn't give me a lot of hope for this is 21 reviews, not a lot of reviews, 3.8 average reviews, which means he didn't have a lot of friends go give lots of reviews. The last time it was updated was August 22nd, 2019.
Yeah, so that's why I'm figuring with the Android 10 it's just completely broken. But I don't know the first thing about the developer. Maybe he is more of just the volunteer type. um this looks like you're planting trees. It takes a certain type of person that is willing to do some donating. So whatever, I'll try to get in touch with him still. And
Yeah. And if he needs help, he can just let us know and we can try to get him as much help that he needs.
yeah, definitely. And one thing that I was reading about it is that it had facial recognition for login. So maybe that's the hiccup with all of this. And the reason somebody was complaining about it, and the reason that they said that they were using it, is because that a lot of what's a lot of where these trees are being planted, there's not a lot of reading and writing. And so in order to have a a method of logging in without literacy, then they wanted to develop face recognition.
Hmm. Gotcha.
So we need one more app to get us to 10 on my count.
Ivor, do you want to jump at it or you want me to do it? I take that as he wants me to do it. Okay. This is an app that I think is one of those apps, best of intentions. I'm not sure it's actually going to be usable for a large amount of people. Okay. It's called Otter Voice Meeting Notes for English, and it honestly wouldn't shock me if this app has also been brought before. Um, by Otter AI productivity app, E for everyone, 4,143 reviews, does have in-app purchases, no in-app ads, completely free to download and install. 4.4 average reviews. Updated January 28th, 2020, 7.9 megs in size, 500,000 plus installs. Current version 2.3, blah, blah. 5.0 Android and up. In-app purchases from $9.99 to $99. Wants to have access to a lot of stuff: contacts, photos, phone, microphone, storage, device ID, and other. um Here's the gist of the app and why I don't think this will be applicable to a lot of people. This app's goal is to basically sit there and run quietly on your phone, kind of like you're in a meeting with Trump and you want to record what's going on, or excuse me, President Trump, and you want to like record what's going on. So you just put the phone down, you hit the button, it will then actively record everything that's going on and attempt to automatically transcribe it to create meeting minutes. I will say, um, meeting minutes are the thing that I don't think enough people have. Everyone has meetings. Meetings are typically not well documented. The main reason why I don't think this would be very useful for me is because not everybody I have meetings with speak clear English. I don't know if I'm special, if I'm different, if I'm unique, or if I'm completely normal in that sense. So it wouldn't shock me if a majority of the meetings I would go to, this would not be as useful as it could be, is what I'll say. But I like the idea. I hope it gets better. I hope it just, becomes more better as time goes on, because we do need to document business stuff better. And any reason to like not pay attention in a meeting, I'm all on board with.
523.
Dang it.
That's 2 strikes, Door.
Well, and when I read the title, I thought, that kind of sounds familiar. But then looking at the stuff, none of it looks familiar. So I'm going to say it changed.
Do you want to bring one more, like BB Tan or something that?
I'm not really good with the BB tan. The one I'm going to bring is a privacy focused application. I really hope this one didn't come. Start Page was my go-to start search engine for a good amount of time. Long story short, they got an investor. People are now questioning, oh my Lord, the sky is falling. So I looked for an alternative search engine, because I really don't use Google unless I absolutely have to. This is the one I landed upon. And my humble opinion, it is fantastic. It's not the best I've ever used, but it is unbelievably useful. It's called Qwant, Qwant. The name of the app is Qwant Privacy and Ethics. Put out by Qwant. It's under Tools, E for Everyone, 7,912 reviews, completely free, no in-app ads, no in-app purchases, 4.1 average reviews. Updated January 9th, 2020. Size varies with device, 1 million plus installs. Current version 3.5.0, 4.1 Android and up. Permissions, device and app history, storage, location, camera, microphone, Wi-Fi, photos, media, and other. So it can put any of those things into the search engine, is why it has that access. I'll just put it like this. With an app that literally has privacy and ethics in its name, it really needs to make sure that it does privacy and ethics right, or somebody's going to call them out on it. And this app's been out for at least a little while, and no one's called them out on it yet. So if you want a more private search engine that is actually, I'll say, good looking, you need to check out Qwant, Qwant, and you can make it your default search engine on most modern browsers, is what I'll say.
So what does the
I'm
app
glad you bought this
actually do?
door. Sorry, mate.
I didn't realize you were back, Ivor. Apologize.
Sorry, I've been having technical issues. The weather here is playing hell with my internet connection for some reason. Seems to be okay now, though. Sorry, I'm just going to say, I'm glad you bought this door, because I've been using this for about 6 months now as my main search engine, and it is damn good. It is just, in my opinion, just as good as Google, and private as well. I really feel icky now every time I do a Google search, because I'm not sure what the hell is going back to the Google server, but I know with Qwant, none of my searches are being tracked. It has a great. You can set it as your browser search engine. Works on your computer, and the app itself is really good on the mobile phone. So, yeah, if you're looking for a new search engine, you want to get away from Google, this is not a bad option at all.
Is the app an actual browser?
Yeah, it's basically
Yes.
just you
Yep.
load the app, and this is basically a progressive web app put into an app. So it's basically just an interface into their search engine. And I will say this, I'm going to guess, Ivor, at least some of the look and feel has changed in 6 months, because this seems unbelievably modern looking, even on their website.
Yeah, well, even their web app on, like, I have an extension in my browser for it, and even that, it looks really good. You have an option to sign in, or you don't have to sign in if you don't want to, but if you create an account with them, you can sign in. You've got message boards. You manage your bookmarks. You've got image search. It tells you whether your tracker is on, you're being tracked or not. Yeah, it's just it gives you a lot more options, and I think in the search to determine where your information goes and who gets it.
Something I've been noticing a lot more with apps is a requirement to create an account. And I'm not this doesn't have anything to do with Qwant necessarily. It's just something that
Mm.
a pet peeve of mine is I've got enough accounts. So if basically if an app says create an account for this, I uninstall it directly. I
Yep.
mean, and
What they
if you
really want
want,
is your Facebook data. They want you to sign in with your Facebook ID so they can get all your information, all your
Mhm.
friends' information, everybody who lives around you, all their information as well. They really want you to sign up with a Facebook ID. I don't have Facebook. Haven't been on Facebook for over 2 years now, so I don't. I'm the same. If they want me to set up a new account, and I really want to use the service, I will set up with an email account. If they don't have an email option, then I'm not using it.
well, I don't even want to. I don't want an account. Let me pay a couple bucks to
Yeah.
just have an app without having to sign in to an account. So yeah. Anyway, that's my rant of the day.
Yeah, I agree. Um, also can't wait for passwords to die, which I do think is going to happen here in the next year or two.
Do you think it will be
What's going to
Squirrel
replace
then?
them?
I'm not going to say it will be Squirrel. I will say there's no reason why it wouldn't be Squirrel. And people who don't know, SQRL, secure, quick, reliable login from Steve Gibson, um, is a technology that he's basically putting out there saying anybody can take it, anybody can own it, anybody can use it. And it's a very secure way to log into websites where even if that website gets hacked and all of their data gets sucked down, none of it is really any use to them. None of your personal information is stored, and there is no password. So I want something to take off. I don't care what it is, to be honest, as long as I don't have to remember. Uh, Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally 1 2 3 4 4 3 2 1 nonsense type passwords.
Well, even a password manager. I mean, if you lose control of that, I mean, that's everything. That's everything. And
Yeah.
s and I mean, Steve Gibson is an extremely smart and seems like a very detail-focused guy, and he was working on Squirrel for years. I mean, it's been, what, 4 or 5 years, it seems like.
Yeah, and every security conference where he does a presentation for it, he has very respected professionals in the security field come to him, ask him questions about it, and then they all basically give him complete like thumbs up on you're doing it right, this should work kind of attitude. But we'll have to wait and see.
Well,
So is that
it's just
available for consumer use now?
Yep.
Can people use it right now?
Yeah, but your website
I have to give that
uh
a go then.
has to use it. Basically, like for instance, WordPress, there's now an official plugin. You can go to WordPress and say SQRL search, and then it will give your WordPress site the ability to log in using it instead of a username password. So websites have to pick up on this. Um, a lot of people I'll
Mhm.
say who I respect who've talked about this transition has said all it's going to take is either Google, Facebook, or Microsoft to say we want to get away from passwords. We're going to be the first one to get away from passwords, and whatever technology they use will have insane amounts of opportunity to be the one that actually comes out on top.
would this be something that
Mm.
could be converted mobile as well? Say I have a, God forbid, Facebook account, and then I have a Facebook app on my phone. W Is it transferable, a Squirrel login
Yeah.
to a mobile device?
Yeah, basically what happens is when you have your Squirrel account, typically they want it to be on your smartphone first. Okay. Once you have it on your smartphone first, basically you have your super password that it forces you to make a backup of as soon as you initiate it. And then it has the short password that you can use just to log in and do stuff. basically you install a browser plugin on your desktop, and you can have it at the standalone desktop as app as well. But where it really shines is you have desktop logins come up. You point your phone's camera at the screen, and it does a three-way handshake, and it does the authentication that way. So imagine two-factor authentication, except it's actually secure. So if there's anybody out there who knows anything about security, the real truth is two-factor authentication is anything but secure. It's unbelievably compromisable, where Squirrel is not.
Oh, I hope it catches on, because the situation at the moment's got to change.
Yeah. Something will, it's just a question of what.
Right, but have you heard of any other alternatives that
Well, I know that once two-factor came out and OAuth came out, very shortly thereafter, they hit the public scene. Other imitators came out and saw at least some success. I have heard of other people working on passwordless solutions. I don't think any of them are as close to as far as Steve Gibson is already, is what I'll say.
Well, and the thing with what he does too is, I mean, what the Squirrel client or the Squirrel app is probably kilobytes or
Oh yeah.
kilobits.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about having some clunky authentication app.
Right. And like one of the reasons why his podcast is by far the number one most downloaded podcast on the Twit network, Security Now podcast, is because he goes out of his way to have low bandwidth friendly files. Same thing with all of his code. Everything he writes in assembly language, which makes for microscopic code, like where we go through these apps and sometimes you hear 20 megs, 80 megs, 400 megs. A Steve Gibson Android app would literally be like 20K because he knows what the hell he's doing when he writes code.
Well, another good thing about that show is that he does most of the talking.
Ding. Yes, I will concur. So we're going to have passwordless systems sooner or later. We don't know when it's going to be, but it needs to happen now. Just for security's sake. And if you want to know just how insecure two-factor is, just subscribe to the podcast Darknet Diaries, and you will be horrified at everything that can be done.
That is a fantastic podcast. I've been really enjoying that, and some of the things on it just really will scare your pants off.
Yep.
It's incredible.
And then I'll say, if you have old people in your life, AARP, Association of Retired Persons here, has a podcast out called The Greatest Scam, I want to say it's called. The Perfect Scam, where all they do is they go over how people get scammed and how much money they get scammed for and how it worked. So that's another one where if you download that one, you'll realize just how vulnerable everybody is. Welcome to another happy day.
Yeah. Can I just mention, Dor, that a little while ago on the show you mentioned a piece of software that will allow you to control or mirror your Android phone to your PC. I think it was called SCRCPY, or Screen Copy. I'll put a link to the GitHub repository in the chat there. I've been using. I tried to get this working the other day and had a bit of trouble, but came across a solution, a rather easy solution to get it working, and now it works great. I can, if you really want to have your Android phone on your laptop or your PC, this is a great piece of software to use because it gives you both full access both ways. You can control what's happening on your Android with your laptop. So the keyboard works, the mouse works, and it also does the audio. So took a little bit to get it going, but once it did get going, I've been really impressed with it. Works like a charm.
Very cool. Yeah, I will say if it was just a simple, in air quotes, apt-get install and an APK install kind of thing, it would be really easy, but it's not. So really, you have
Yeah.
to find tutorials and step-by-steps, and it's very easy during those processes to, I don't want to say do something wrong, but have somebody telling you to do something that isn't completely applicable to your operating system, or they just didn't say it clearly.
Well, the only thing I had to do on my phone was enable USB debugging. So that, because you have to enable the developer options and then open up a USB debugging. So that's the only kind of complicated thing you have to do on the phone. But what I found was when I tried to run the application itself on my laptop um, from the terminal, because I'm using Linux, uh, there was an option of using two run commands. One was the name of the app itself, which is SCRCPY. That wouldn't work. And then I found an obscure reference in a chat in a help forum that said, "Oh, just try running SCRCPY dash M1024," which tells it what resolution to run at, and bang, it worked. It took me hours to find that reference, but once I found it and tried it, it worked, and it's been fine ever since. So a really solid piece of software. I'm quite enjoying using it.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's great. I need to look into this as well. All right. So we have brought 11 apps, and they are in order of appearance. Official coronavirus statistics by Santiago Medical, sorry. Reset. Official coronavirus statistics by Santiago Soft, which is a medical app. Knobby volume control, unique volume widget app by Yogesh Dama, which is music and audio. PictoParty, Chromecast edition by Retroid Interactive. It's a board game creativity. Tiny Bubbles by Pine Street Codeworks, puzzle brain games. TempMail, free instant temporary email access by Privatix Limited communication app. The Angry Banana by the Exact Company, and it's an adventure. Sell to Singularity, Evolution Never Ends, Early Access. Computer Lunch, and it's a simulation. Football Highlights, Sin HD01, soon to be arrested. Sports. Treetracker by Green Stand, under Tools. Otter Voice Meeting Notes for English by Otter.ai Productivity, and Qwant Privacy and Ethics by Qwant, and under Tools.
Very cool. Thank you very much, guys, for coming out. Ivor, do you have any parting words of wisdom?
No, just stay away from the coronavirus and stay happy, and send us some emails when you have a chance. We'd love to hear from you.
Very cool. Josh?
I am putting a call out for a voicemail to the number of Podnutz, which is. That's where you're supposed to step in, Door.
Oh, I was just going to let the awkward silence stand. 7076 Podnut, link in the notes. And I will implore everybody, if you have a podcast you listen to and you open up their notes ever and you feel like they're not doing a good job, you let them know that you prize the notes. You rely on the notes. There are a lot of now statistics coming out where people are trying to convince podcasters that notes are not important. Do not worry about them. Focus on, generating profit. Focus on generating clicks. Focus on maximizing number of downloads. The scumminess that is podcasting is affecting a broader range of people besides the scummy people. So if you like notes and you need notes, you make sure you let your other podcasters know that you like your notes. And don't forget, you can always just click on our notes and you'll see all the contact information. You'll see all the links to all the shows, to all the apps, to all the news articles that we do every single episode, because that's what we do.
Would you say that other podcasts put the no in notes?
I'll say they put the incompetent in notes, but that didn't ring any bells or make any sense. So, you know, do what you can, support those who support you. And I will say a huge shout out to Mike F. and John Miller. Randomly, I'll say in the last like 2 months, I've gotten a couple people just randomly shoot me money. I'm guessing it's like tax thing or something. I don't know. So thank you guys for all your support. Thank you guys for all the downloads. Thank you guys for all the emails. Thank you guys for all the contact. I've been getting very happy emails here in the last 2 months, which are definitely making me open up my emails quicker and sooner. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Ivor. And again, shoot us emails, shoot us voicemails. Josh called you out. Let's see if we can make this happen. I want to thank everyone. We will talk to everyone again in about a week. Take it easy, everybody. Whoops. Let's see if that, did I just break it? Let me see. I hit one of the wrong buttons. No, okay, the stream came back. Okay, good. I accidentally hit stop streaming instead of stop recording. Did you want to do an intro, Josh?
Yeah, I suppose I could probably do that. Unless Ivor is interested in such things.
No, you go for it, Josh. You're good at these.
Yeah, but I'm better when you're not here, and I can say whatever I want.
You can say whatever you want whenever I am here too.
This is true.
Oh, have we stopped Audacity yet?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Sorry, just every now and then my whole connection just turns into a mess of static. It's nasty. Oh, there he is. Hello.
It might be a time thing.
Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy.
Ball.
Ball. That's not a ball. That's a microphone. Can you say microphone?
That door has a microphone too.
Ooh. Yeah.
Haha.
There. Oh, bonk.
Hi, buddy. Hi. How you doing?
Daddy.
Oh, Daddy. Yeah.
Okay.
What did you say, Door?
I just said hi.
You say night night, Daddy. Night night, Daddy. Yeah. Beep beep.
Beep beep. Yep. We don't need to push all the buttons. Okay, bud.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Bye, Door. Can you say bye, Door?
Bye, Ivor.
Ivor. Say bye,
Bye.
Door. Bye, Ivor.
Ivor and Door. That rhymes.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Hi.
Daddy.
I'll be right back.
All right. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Yeah, he obviously gets his looks from his mom. Okay, so I stopped the local recording. Okay, brain hurts. Okay. Yeah, I got to upload the video. That's what I got to do. I got to upload the video.
Is he not sleeping, Josh?
What's that?
Is he not sleeping these days, Josh?
Oh, there was a night a couple nights ago, but no, for the most part. For the most part, he sleeps pretty well. It's
Gonna say, all you gotta do is take some whiskey, put on your finger, put it in. I go ready to sleep, man.
I do. I put the whiskey on my finger and then I put it in my mouth though, and it doesn't get to him.
Yeah. Gotta share the whiskey.
Well, it's only 7:30 there, so that's all right.
Yeah.
He's just off to bed now, is he?
Yeah, he's going to bed now.
Okay. Upload. Dang. Uploading. Oh man, my foot. For some reason, my legs have been falling asleep here lately when I do a show.
Yeah. Although I've been sitting in this chair all day anyway. I am interested. Oh, here we go. See you later, guys. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Automatic standing desk. All right. Oh
Hey.
man. But
That's
that
gonna be
tree app
guys.
is kind of interesting to me, or like the whole concept of the.
Right.
I mean, it's probably all nonsense, but still. Let's see.
The whole time you were talking about that, all I could think of was Greta Thunberg saying, "How dare you?
Yeah. Trees are not enough.
How dare you?"
Yeah, right.
Well,
No,
she's
you-
doing
They
she's
should
doing
put
a
that in
good
the app.
job of drawing attention, drawing eyeballs.
For who?
Yeah, couldn't they find somebody who knows what they're talking about though?
She's very articulate, though. It's pretty amazing how well she's trained.
Well, she's
Yeah, well, her
autistic. You'll
parents
have
are
that.
in Antifa.
Yeah, and actors, I believe. I think one of her
Yeah.
parents is an actor. How racy do you want to get with this intro, Door? Because I got some material. How about I record it and then you can tell me?
Okay.
I don't think anyone on the feed is going to
Doesn't
be.
sound good.
I don't think anybody on the feed is going to be offended.
Okay.
Maybe Ivor.
When are you worried about offending me?
Oh, what the hell happened there? I really do hate documenting.
All right, I'll give it a go here.
Okay.
Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. On episode 558 of Android App Addicts, Ivor plays with his knob. Door brings apps that have already been brought in, and Josh brings apps that don't work.
Broughton?
Yeah, that's right. It's been brought in.
Are we changing the English language now?
It's
Jesus
been
Christ.
brought in.
It's been brought in.
What do you think, Door? Are you okay with that?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, Ivor played with his knob, and then he played with his angry banana. So I don't know what's going on here.
I still just can't believe that MIUI is finally getting an app drawer. It's literally 10 years in the making.
Well, that was one of the things that was the hardest thing for, like, I just thought I was dumb, which,
No.
is still the fact. But when I got this phone, I was trying to figure out how to find the apps. And then I actually installed the one that Ivor brought, App Drawer.
Yeah.
And I quite like that
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
because you can set it for most recent, and that's kind of just what I use it for.
Well,
Hey,
to me,
Door. Sorry,
yes,
mate.
sir.
I think I got a problem. My Audacity file is only like 1.7 meg. It is, 1.7 megabits.
Well, I mean, when you look, do you see the waveform?
I've closed it down already. Hang on, I'll try and re-extract it because I've saved the project. Something may have gone wrong with the extracting process.
Or you just have the quality wrong. Sometimes if the quality is wrong, it will come out to like a microscopic like size file.
Okay. Yeah, I'm using a new machine, so it may have different settings. Let's try open.
And I heard tiny bubbles, and I swore it was going to be like, I can't remember what it's called now. Bubble blaster, frozen bubble. It's what I kept asking. This is going to be another friggin' clone of Frozen Bubble.
No, it's actually it's a pretty fun game.
I like the colors,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
and I like the fact that it has a colorblind safe mode.
Hey, how do I open a project in Audacity?
File open.
It's different than everything else.
Yeah, but I go to the project file and
Oh my god!
I don't know why I lead with my chin sometimes. So I get to the project file, and it just keeps going down until it comes to a whole bunch of AU files.
Yeah, the .au is the actual project file.
There's about 78 of them.
Yep.
How many episodes have you done?
Yep.
Or recordings have you done?
Well, this is just the one project.
You're under a project?
Yeah, or you can try file recent files. You should have a recent
Try that then.
files.
I really need to
Recent files.
make
No,
a shortcut
nothing.
for this Nextcloud app. It's just an app image sitting in downloads.
Hang on. I'll share my screen with you. You can see what I see.
Do you see what I see?
Okay, so if I go into podcasts, so there's the project. We go into that. Get this EOO.
Yeah, that's not
Open
the
that.
AUP file. You need the AUP file. Yeah, AUP right there. Yeah. And
Okay,
what that is, that's like, yeah. And then there's no audio there. Oh, do me a favor. Control A and then Control E. Yeah, that's all your audio right there. It's only 2 minutes.
Shit, what happened to it?
Oh no.
Hopefully it was a good 2 minutes.
Oh fuck! I had Audacity running. I had it running. I started it. It was running. I haven't turned the machine off. I haven't shut Audacity. It must have just stopped. Oh man! So that what does that do to your audio file, Door?
It's going to
Is there any
sound
way you can
bad.
pick it up? Fuck.
Means I got to get it from YouTube.
Well, that sucks. Why would it do that?
It's a bit flaky.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what I did. It might have been because when I was having the static issues, I had unplugged the microphone. So that may have reset the Audacity. Okay.
One job, Ivor. One job.
I had one job. That's all I could do. That's all I had to do.
Yeah, and yesterday, I would say yesterday I had 8 hours of Amazon Amazon training. Today I had 4 hours of training.
Just how to find the best deals.
No, it was Amazon EC2, Amazon Web Services, and I
You
had
guys
to
doing all
point.
your backup there, or are
Oh,
you hosting?
nah. It's garbage, is all I want to say. It's complete garbage. I had no problem telling the instructor, I don't know why you're giving this class when you could just replay a class from 6 years ago because so little's changed.
They love that.
And it hasn't. And I told him that's why people are literally jumping ship like ridiculous from you guys. What you had was years ahead of everybody. But then you rested on your laurels and Jeff needed another yacht, so you didn't innovate. Well, now
Well, Bezos
Microsoft's
needs
getting
his,
ready to eat your lunch.
needs something to fund his divorce settlement, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, she just sold a whole bunch of her stock. Okay, app
Got
stock.
paid.
Yeah, and it turns out they just did verify somebody else got hacked. Some other important person got hacked using the exact same method of Jeff's hack from MSB Bonesaw.
Was he using a Fire phone?
No, he was using a iPhone.
Is he taking dick pics?
Yeah.
But no, the problem was WhatsApp. WhatsApp has had multiple 0-day vulnerabilities where all they have to do is send you a message and they can basically overtake your entire phone. And I love the fact that everyone tried to say, well, he's probably on an Android device. He's probably on an Android device. No, turns out he was on an
He was
iPhone.
So it was his iCloud pictures that weren't secure.
No, it was just the local pictures on the device. Basically, the phone kept
On the device,
for like,
huh?
I want to say weeks, sending every bit from his phone up to their servers for weeks.
Oh, it's...
Jesus. WhatsApp, eh? What a great application.
Yeah. Facebook.
Hey, how's your Pine book working out?
Surprisingly well for only being $200 is what I want to say. Easy, like 10-hour battery life. It's an ARM. The gimmick is it's an ARM processor, so you're not going to be able to just install whatever piece of software you want to install. But you know, browsers work, email clients work, text editors work, spreadsheet stuff works, Word documents work. You know,
So it's pretty much like a Chromebook, really, isn't it?
yeah.
Like a good Chromebook.
But with apps.
With apps, and
Yeah.
I finally went and took a look at all the installable operating systems, and it was literally like 20. I was shocked at the number of them, and one of them was a Chromium OS, like a Chrome OS type operating system, which kind of shocked me too.
So what are you talking here? Like what? I mean, all sorts of Linux. I mean, what are the 20 or a few of them?
Well, you have the obvious Ubuntu, Debian, Manjaro. There was an Android. There was the Chromium OS. It's got like this Pinebook Pro download. I think.
What about like a Debian?
Well, yeah. What I have right now installed is basically a Debian. They just call it Open Sesame, but it's just Debian, just basically straight Debian. And yeah, here you go. You ready? Put the link in the YouTube chat.
I'm an idiot.
Debian Bionic, which is a LXDE Debian, a Bionic Mate, Ubuntu kind of thing, Manjaro ARM, Q4OS, which is a different type of operating system. I'll say that. Armbian, which is very polished and popular. NetBSD, Chromium, which is the Chrome OS, Android 7.1, Android 7.1, one for eMMC, one for microSD, Debian, Gentoo, and Kali.
That might be a pretty fun Kali little laptop.
Yeah.
I know if you want to get arrested. Yeah, right. Oh, on your own network, maybe.
Oh, yeah. And like easily, if you're at all modest with the brightness settings, easily 10 hours of battery life.
So you can boot from a micro SD on that too, huh?
Yeah, you can basically dual boot. You can basically just have your installed operating system and then play with an SD card to boot to that.
So actually I got a question for you though. Eliminating coughs and stuff like that. I'm writing it down. I wrote it down somewhere, but I lost it. Is it Control R?
No, you have to first select the region and do a effects amplify, and then do the de-amplification. Control R just means do the same thing over again. So once you do the de-amplification, you can just say the next time you find something that needs to be de-amplified, just Control R, and it does the same thing over again.
Oh, okay. Because I did the noise reduction, I think, correctly already, but who knows? But I made a copy of the original file as well, just so I don't Ivor it. Yes, I just turned you into a verb.
Don't worry, my wife does the same thing.
Okay. So now, close it out, saving now. Do I have that installed?
I think the problem I've had is the laptop I'm using. It's not good.
What is it?
So
MacBook?
it's my birthday. My 50th birthday is coming up. No, it's a Dell Inspiron 11. It's got a very underpowered processor. It's an N300 processor. I've put Linux on it, so it actually runs pretty well, but the CPUs are going over time. It's getting up to 80 degrees internal temperature during the podcast. So obviously it wasn't. It's not an ideal machine for the job I was trying to get it to do.
Well, and I'll say one of my beliefs is, with any microphone, you should have it plugged into a USB powered hub.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, which he has. He has that same Behringer, the UMC 22.
What are you talking about, Josh?
The preamp or the.
Oh yeah, I'm not using that right now, but I've just got the USB.
I tried to help you out there, man, by vouching for you.
He tried to save me. Thanks. I'll get a new laptop before the next show.
All right, Dor, another one real quick. How do you select an area keyboard shortcut without like dragging the mouse? Like
really, there's no other way to get like precise selection of space.
Really? You can't do like a shift?
I want to say it was shift control, but it jumps like a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that's what. Oh yeah, it's just shift, and you can go backwards and forwards. So if you do shift and then left or right, it expands that box. So it's like highlighting text in damn near anything. If you push shift, you can text or you can highlight. And if you push control shift, you can jump words, like you can highlight complete words. That's handy right there, man. Get your hand off the mouse.
Yeah, I don't do. I hate mouse.
Yeah, me too. But I find myself falling back into it,
I know.
especially with like I'm using a lot of web-based applications and CRM type shit that just don't have shortcuts. Like it's just a garbage systems without shortcuts, and it's so annoying.
Well, to me, that's how you can tell if something is mature or not. They don't have any type of shortcut keys.
They just want your money.
So, Dora, is there anything I can do to help with the extraction of the audio file from YouTube?
No, I already have it extracted.
Oh, you're awesome.
Yeah, you know what you could do to help? Don't fuck it up in the first place, Ivor.
We're still streaming.
You
Take
sound
these
like my
there.
wife.
Oh, sorry.
I could be married to you.
Hey, Ivor said the F word earlier. I was just repeating what he said.
Yeah, well, don't use the F word in the Reddit forum. Geez, you get jumped on.
It's just that Kiwis have no couth.
No, we have less couth than the Australians.
Except this guy Eric in
That's saying a
the
lot.
chat room, he's got couth.
Only because he keeps dumping on me. Okay, guys. Well, the wife's just got home, so I will have to love you and leave you.
All right, man.
Sorry again.
Don't worry about it. No.
I will make sure I have a better laptop for next show.
Gotcha.
Right, mate.
All right, man. Take it easy, brother.
See you next week.
We'll be in touch.
Yep.
My lawyers will get in touch with yours.
Okay. Yeah, I've had to pull the audio out more than a couple of times, so I kind of know how to do it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Well, it's better than saying, "Well, now we can't publish a show."
Yeah. Or we just redo it and we could just play Ivor's parts. Actually, we've got access to his brother, so
Yeah. Okay. And it's nearly a gig when I pull the audio out.
wow.
I know that's the part that sucks.
Then you have to match it all up and
No.
okay.
No. I'm not taking your audio, my audio, and then taking the export from YouTube and just pulling out Ivor's audio. Hell no, I ain't got time for that.
Oh, you're just using the.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I
man, but
do
I
not
was
have
doing.
time.
What am I doing then? I'm actually like trying to get out. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't need to do any of this. Do you even need my file then?
Nope.
Oh, for fart's sakes. Okay. It was
I
going to
know.
sound the best ever, too.
Yeah.
Should we put a disclaimer at the beginning?
Nope.
Or I
No,
could
'cause
read
it
you.
isn't horrible.
No? Okay.
No.
Man, Dor, I was cleaning it all up and everything.
Well, you can blame Ivor.
Oh, I do. I blame Ivor for everything.
So
Can
the
you
question
imagine?
is,
Can you imagine being his twin brother?
he's probably numb. Are you kidding?
Comfortably numb.
Okay. I'm shocked at how quiet the quiet spots are in the audio. Typically, even like this, there's something there, and there's literally no noise at all.
Is that's the YouTube?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, nice.
And I know that's almost never the case. That is, I mean, let me rephrase that. That's never the case. Okay, so
What version of Audacity is this?
it's old.
I love it.
This is old. This is 1.312.
A beta even.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see what it is now. I can tell you what it is. 2.33.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you when that I got the one that worked. I said, "Okay, now we're not going to update it." I went in and took out all the app sources and everything.
Do you don't record on this though?
Nope.
You just edit it with it?
Yeah.
And so where's your you also remove silence too, huh?
Yeah. I do that the very last step after everything's compiled on the waveform. It seems to give the best results. Because when I try to do truncate silence on MP3s or on OGG files, you get weird, I don't even know what to call them, but artifacts where weird, like stuff happens that makes no sense and words get cut off and chopped. It's like it removes like the first millisecond from every word.
Mm.
So it sounds like, something really bad happening, or you're like having a nervous breakdown or something.
Well, both those could be true. Yeah, this Nextcloud, man. I mean, some of it's on me, and I accept that, but there's also it's still buggy.
Well,
Even
did you go to my web interface? I
my
themed it finally.
No, I've never been to your web interface. I didn't know that I could even go to your web interface, to tell you the truth. I just used the app to upload.
Oh.
You did Mr. Robot or something.
Yeah.
You were talking to Bruce about maybe.
Yeah, I saw Zoke, and he sent me a link to his Nextcloud because he wanted to test the Nextcloud talk and stuff.
Do you have Let's Encrypt set up on yours?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope. I don't trust Let's Encrypt. I trust myself. That's
Right.
why I hate SSL error messages, because they're lies.
Oh, whoa. Now I'm getting running out of space on my hard drive.
You'll have that with Audacity. That's the thing with Audacity. You have to
Map it to the
and you got to make sure that you clean up after yourself, because Audacity does not clean up after itself.
Yeah, I'll just put it. I've got this laptop. It's a Lenovo 580 E580, and so it has the PCI. What is it called? The MVI or the PCI hard drive. The MV. What was that called?
NVMe.
NVMe. Sure.
So is it new?
I bought it in January. Well, it's a year old now.
If you have NVMe on a computer you bought a year ago, wow, that's
No,
really
well, I
good.
don't know if it's MV. It's on the like it's. I don't know what it's called. It's a PVIP. That's not right because it's an i7.
Yeah, the biggest problem with this audio is going to be our levels are different. To where like one person's going to be loud and the other person will not be. Because even if you look at this audio, you can see like my audio is, without sounding dumb, like thick, and then there's audio where it's not, and then that's gonna turn out to be,
Can
because
you
when
play part of it? Oh yeah, those are. I'm sure that you're the thick and Ivor and I are the thin.
well, I just know that's me because that's the beginning of the show right there.
Yeah. Can you play part of it just to see what?
I can, but you're not going to hear it.
No, but you can hear it. Like the.
Yeah. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. Fuck. I don't
That's
know how to.
Ivor.
I don't know how to get it. I don't know how
Huh?
to get it thicker. I don't know how to get it thicker.
It's literally just half of it is behavior, getting yourself as literally as close to the mic as you possibly can, and then just tweaking the hardware knob up just a little bit. I mean, it took me like 3 months plus to get my audio to look like this.
Yeah.
It was not like overnight.
I'll do better. Well, I think it works out all right if you're using your own. You're not using YouTube video or YouTube audio. Works a bit
Well,
better. I mean, I'm not saying I'm. Well, yeah, actually, I'm throwing Ivor under the bus.
Man,
My audio sounds like crap because of Ivor.
Everybody has problems and issues with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's. Yep.
Oh. Yeah, and there's like no foolproof way to do it. Period. The Franklin fixes that work cost a lot of money.
You're talking about hardware?
Yeah. Yeah, they're not cheap, and that's when you have like a Zoom sitting next to your computer doing its own capture, and that's like another $200 that nobody wants to spend.
Yeah, $200 in the States.
And they're not, and they're literally like really old technology. They're like 8-year-old technology, yet somehow they still charge $200 for them. I don't get it. Oh my goodness. I really don't want to go in. I got to take off next Wednesday.
Well, I've been rocking this PHP project a bit.
Going well?
It's going.
I actually don't mind PHP, but it's digesting somebody else's PHP and then trying to make sense of it. That would just drive me nuts.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, because it's not just PHP either. It's this cake PHP.
Right. And then of course JavaScript and everything else.
Well, I didn't even realize that there was yeah, I got to this part and it was React code,
Oh,
which but that's the thing is like I'm cool with React. That's kind of what I was trained in. So that part I understand, but just the whole framework of this cake and how there's models and views and like just how
yeah.
that all that stuff works and where data is being pulled or passed up
I
the
tell you,
level.
models and views, MVC.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
do not like MVC. I understand why, when, how it can really speed up development. It really can. Doesn't mean I gotta like it.
Well, the thing is, the people that were developing this before, they they uh they're using like it was Cake PHP 2.10, and from what I can tell, it's up to 4 point something right now. And I mean, this was developed a month ago, right? Like the
Damn.
so
It's a good
yeah.
poster you got back there too. I didn't notice that before.
What's that?
The Wizard of
Oh,
Oz.
yeah, yeah. Did you notice the whiteboard?
Yeah,
That's
I did. Yeah.
Dor and Ivor are neat.
Yeah. Now the dumb question is have you downloaded what's it? I'm trying to remember what it's called now.
Dark Side of the Rainbow.
No. Codornium?
Whoa.
Uh
No, but I went to the doctor and he told me I had a bad case of it. He said you got a bad case of cordodium.
it was the Visual Studio Code editor deblobbed.
Oh, VS Code?
Yeah, but it has a bunch of binary blobs in it, and people took
Well, it's Microsoft, so of course
yeah,
it
so
does.
so people took and cleaned it all up.
Oh, I heard you talking about that. No,
Yeah.
I use VS Code.
I would say it's really hard to tell the difference.
Well, the thing would, yeah, great. I'd be into looking at that. That's what it is. It's M.2. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, M.2. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no, that's so it's got that, but then it also has a SATA spot. So I've got a 2 terabyte spinning disk in there
Gotcha. Yeah,
as well, which I think slows down the boot process considerably. It seems to me like it's
Yeah.
digging through the whole thing before it boots up.
Yeah, there's the link in the YouTube chat for VS Codium. It's basically they took out all the binary blobs from VS Code and they published it. And the thing is, you run it, you literally can't tell the difference between this and VS Code, and you still have access to all the plugins and everything.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I'll check that out maybe tomorrow.
I'll just say works surprisingly well.
Yeah. Well, what I did is I put this up. Like I did a bunch of because I haven't posted any like legitimate, like this is going to be a legitimate app that is being used by at least dozens of people. And so I just started a DigitalOcean droplet, and I'm gonna host it on there. And so one of the cool things about VS Code is being able to SSH into it and use it. Because I'm developing on a DigitalOcean droplet, because of course I am.
Right. Developing in production.
Well, that's the beauty of it, though. It's just like I was trying to think of where to host it and what the downside of being on DigitalOcean would be. And it's like, okay, are they any more compromisable than anywhere else? no, I don't think so. And then it was, you can take a snapshot, so I've been developing on this. I took a snapshot of it, fired it up, pointed the subdomain to it, and said, okay, here you go. This is what I've done. And it's exactly where I'm at in the process, but I can continue developing on the same space that I was at before.
Right. Yeah. The only thing about DigitalOcean is you got to just be aware of your bandwidth usage.
But it scales too, though. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
$5 a month right now. If I got to go up to 10, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't get expensive until you go like literal crazy.
Yeah, which I'm not going to do unless it gets hacked. Unless there's a bunch of bots crawling around.
Just don't make yourself a target.
No. I mean, that's the thing is I definitely will be doing all the research into making it as secure as possible. So I'm that kind of guy.
Okay. Now. Delete. 558. Oh. All right, I'm going to kill the stream.
Later, guys. Thanks for coming out. That was a lot of fun.
Yep. Take it easy, guys.